All right, let's dive into something that's really changing how construction businesses are run. We're going to talk about a huge shift in thinking, one that proves just working harder isn't the answer anymore. It's about changing the entire game plan.
I mean, just look at this statement. If that hits home for you, you're definitely not alone. Let's be real for a minute about why it feels this way right now.
You know the deal. Finding good, quality labor feels next to impossible. Material prices, they're changing so fast your estimate for Monday is already wrong by Friday. And it seems like every single week there's a new competitor popping up down the street, right? These aren't just small problems, they're the everyday reality that can just wear you down. And that's really the breaking point, isn't it? For years, the advice was simple. Just work harder, put in more hours. But you know what? You can't outwork a broken system. The game has changed. And the truth is, the builders who are really succeeding today aren't just hustling more. They're doing something different. They're installing an operating system for their business, and they've stopped trying to win this new game with the old rules. This brings us to a concept I call the owner's trap. And the question here is simple, but it's a big one. Are you trapped working in your business, on the tools, fighting fires every day, or are you actually thriving on your business? It really all boils down to two different mindsets. On one side, you've got the technician or the manager. Their whole focus is on just doing the tasks, getting through the day. They're trapped in the daily grind. But then you have the entrepreneur, the leader. Their focus is completely different. It's on building the business itself. They're thinking about growth, about strategy, because they've built a stable foundation that allows them to take those smart risks. And you can see exactly how this plays out in the real world. Just look at the difference. The trapped business is scraping by on maybe 5% net profit. Operations are just chaos. It's all ad hoc, and profit is just whatever's left over at the end of the month, if you're lucky. But the thriving business, they're hitting 10% or more because they run on documented systems. For them, profit is planned for from the very beginning. And check out that last row. For the trapped owner, growth just means more chaos and less profit. For the thriving owner, growth is planned. It's supported. It's exciting. Okay, so how do you get from that trapped side over to the thriving side? You've got to build a bridge. And that bridge, my friends, is your business operating system. So what is a business operating system? Let's be clear, it's not just a piece of software you buy. Think of it as your entire playbook. It's all of your processes, your tools, your frameworks, all working together. And its only job is to take all that chaos and replace it with predictability and profit so the business can finally run without you having to be involved in every little thing. So what does this OS actually look like? Well, it stands on four main pillars. First, you need documented playbooks, literally the company way of doing things written down. Second, you need an empowered team who can actually run those plays without you. Third, you need key data dashboards, a simple way to see if you're winning or losing. And fourth, you need smart automation to take care of all the repetitive stuff. And that fourth pillar, smart automation, is where cool stuff like practical AI comes into play. And look, this isn't science fiction anymore. We're talking about using AI to help you write more accurate bids, or having it automatically score new leads so your team only chases the best jobs, or even using it to spot project risks before they turn into huge, expensive problems. It's about making technology work for your system, not the other way around. Okay, this all sounds great in theory, right? But where on earth do you even start? It's simple. The very first, most critical step is to document everything. You have got to get the business out of your head and onto paper. I want you to burn this sentence into your brain. You cannot effectively delegate what you have not documented. Seriously, if the right way to do something only exists in your head, it's impossible to hand it off to someone else and expect them to succeed. This one idea is the foundation for everything else we're talking about. And look, creating your company playbook doesn't mean you have to lock yourself in a room for a month. Don't get overwhelmed. Just start here. Pick one of these things, just one. Write down your estimating process, step by step. Map out the handoff from sales to the field. What is your absolute non-negotiable process for change orders? Just documenting one of these things will bring so much clarity. So once you have a process written down, a play in your playbook, now you can move on. Now you can build a team to execute that process. But you have to be careful because there's a right way to do this and a very, very wrong way. And here it is. This is the single biggest mistake I see growing construction businesses make time and time again. They hire a person, usually a really expensive project manager, hoping that person will fix what is actually a systems problem.
They're basically trying to hire a superhero to bring order to the chaos. It almost never works.
This really gets to the heart of the difference between delegation and abdication. See, delegation is when you empower someone to run a system that you've already proven works. You're focused on the outcome. Abdication, on the other hand, is just handing over a chaotic mess to someone and hoping they can figure it out, usually because you just want to escape the headache. And that right there is what leads to failure and reinforces that terrible belief that if I want it done right, I have to do it myself. So this all requires a total mindset shift about what your job is as the owner. Your real job isn't to do the work anymore. Your real job is to build. You build the team, you build the systems for that team to run, you build the culture that makes great people want to stick around. You have to shift from being the main doer in your company to being the main builder.
So I'm going to leave you with this one last question to think about. I want you to look at how you spend your days, what you're really focused on, and ask yourself with total honesty, are you just building a really high-stress, long-hours job for yourself? Or are you building a true business, a real asset that can one day thrive and grow even without you?